Hi,
Hello.
Sophia.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good evening to you.
Oh, thank you so much. So, like everybody is so excited for your live session. So, here on Edgeness, we have a very wonderful personality and a young Bharatnatyam dancer. And very soon, she's gonna be our mentor. Of Dr. Sridhara Akihe Balu and Srimati Rama Vaidyanathan. Yeah, so she has given different solo performances in US, in abroad, and at Narada Gana Sabha under the auspices of Karthik Fine Arts. So yeah, she is also an ICCR and paneled artist, and 2013 Young Artist finalist. So recently, she has also graduated. Dig into the question answer round.
No, I think you did a great job of covering me.
Wow, wow. So I was going through your profile, and let me tell you, everyone, she also pursues ballet, the dance form, with the Bharatnatyam. So I just want you to, throw some light on ballet as well. How do you manage both Bharatnatyam and ballet?
Yeah, sure. So, my entry into dance was actually with ballet. My mom wanted to be a ballerina, but
Mm.
her parents didn't let her. So, when I was 5, she put me into ballet right away and really wanted me to
Oh,
do that professionally. And I remember I
wow.
really loved it. I loved the music and the move. Later, when I was 9, was my first introduction to Bharatnatyam. And then I continued learning both ballet and Bharatnatyam my entire life, all the way through grade school and then the 4 years of college. So I would perform both styles and practice both styles every week.
My
And I
God,
think for
pushing
for me, it was
chemistry.
really helpful, and also challenging, of course, because they work different types of movement and different muscle groups. So ballet is all about lengthening and stamina and flexibility and balance. Very
Right.
uplifted and light, but Bharatanatyam is very grounded, very focused on being strong and rhythmic, and there's a lot more emphasis on the abhinaya and the finger movements, which is very different from ballet. So eventually I decided that I would have to pick just one to do true justice to it, and master it as completely as I could. So clearly, I've picked Bharatnatyam. So these last 2 years, I haven't really been doing ballet as much, but I think it really turned me into the dancer I am today.
Wow, wow, wow. So both dance forms are totally different. One needs the strength and the flexibility. Of course, both the dance form needs flexibility and strength, but flexibility of different parts of your body, and one needs focus of different parts of your body. So wow.
Exactly.
Okay. So who introduced you to Bharatnatyam?
It's a funny story that everyone always asks me, but my mom had a family friend who taught
Oh,
Bharatanatyam at a local school in San
wow.
Antonio, Texas, where I grew up. And we had never heard about it before. My mom is from Belgium, my dad is from Greece, and I was born
Oh,
in America. So we had no
okay.
exposure to Indian culture at all. But we had this
Mhm.
friend who said that since I like ballet so much, I should come try Bharatanatyam. And so my mom took me to a first class because my parents are very open and they love exploring new cultures. And she was kind
Oh.
of scared about how messy and disorganized and loud and dirty the hall was, but I loved it. I was just so in love with the steps that I was learning and the music I was hearing and the colors. So I begged
Wow.
her to take me back. And so she did. And she kept taking me back. After a couple of months at that local school, I was him privately ever since. So
Wow,
that's
that's
how,
all about fortune.
yeah,
Yeah,
he really guided, it's still guiding my dance journey. And it's all thanks to that. So
wonderful, wonderful. So, okay, you must have faced many, many challenges learning Bharatnatyam because it is basically from India and it has different Sanskrit and Tamil texts.
mhm.
So, How difficult was that for you to pursue this in terms of theory?
Hmm. Yeah, it was more challenging for me, I think, than someone who had grown up with this during their childhood, just out context wise for all of the mythological stories that we tell, and even the simplest movements like draping a sari that I didn't know what it was until um, like a year after I learned the dance movement, I went to India and draped my own sari and had an understanding of what it actually
Oh,
means. So things like that, things like
wow.
eating with your hand, it took me a while to actually do it and learn it, or all of the puja rituals that we do, these things I had to go to the temples and actually see it for the first time. So I did a lot of my own research outside of the dance classroom to make up for this. So I would observe a lot. I spent a lot of time with the Indian community at home. I spent months in India learning there um, from Srimati Rama Vaidyanathan, and I wanted to stay in a hostel to be around the other girls instead of at a hotel that was probably more comfortable for me, but wouldn't have given me the same experience. And then I read a lot of literature about the mythological stories so I can understand them. And then
From
the last
India.
thing,
Wow.
yeah, from the Hindu mythology. And the last thing is that all of my dances, my guru translates every word. So I write down the English meaning right underneath the Indian word, whatever language it is, and then I memorize that.
Oh, that's a research you have done in Bharatnatyam since you were in love with this dance form. That's wonderful. That's so good to hear. Wow. So, what actually you found that what trait of your personality changed after you pursued it? Because since you have been pursuing this dance form when since you were 9, that's so amazing. So, okay, I would want you to throw light on Vivartana.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is Vivartana?
Vivartana is an amazing performance that Rama Vaidyanathan created, and I had the opportunity of being a part of. So it's a group piece, and she originally choreographed it on her students in India, but then when she came for her second US tour, I ended up being asked to join the tour, and I was in the middle of my final exams of college. And I told my parents that I was going to go on tour, and they told me, "You're crazy. You're going to fail school. We're not paying for your education for you to just go around the country and dance instead of taking your exams." And I said, "Don't worry, I'll figure it out. This is my dream. I'm not going to do it." So I contacted all my professors and told them that I needed to take my exams early or virtually because I'm going to go. I'm just going on tour, sorry. And so they agreed. I studied way in advance and took them and then went on tour
How
to a
old were
couple.
you then? How old were you?
I was 20.
Okay, all
And
right.
so it's such a incredible and inspirational experience to dance on stage with Ramaka, of course, and Dakshina and Kavya and the other dancers too. I learned so much, and then I was able to perform again on their third US tour the next year and also in Chennai.
Okay, wonderful. So, what all places have you traveled? You mentioned that you have traveled to like places in US, and you came to India as well. And what all places have you traveled for the
Yeah,
performances?
I've been invited to perform all around the US, of course, and Canada, and then Europe, so France, Germany, Belgium, the UK, Portugal, and then India, Dubai, Kuwait, and other places I was supposed
A
to
lot
go
of
but didn't end up
traveling. Yeah, a
going.
lot of traveling. Sure.
Yeah, a lot that was
Okay.
canceled because of COVID.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you stepped on the stage for the first time, how was the feeling? Like when you stepped on the stage for the performance of Bharatnatyam, how was the feeling? Like, how did you feel?
I was very young. I don't really remember, but I think back then I just back then I was dancing because I thought the dance costumes and jewelry were so beautiful and I really wanted to wear that and have all the makeup on. But then as I got older, I started feeling how impactful a stage performance can be and how it can really touch the audience and how it's like a cathartic experience that cleanses the dancer too, because you're sort of
It
offering
is.
yourself
It is.
to something higher than
Yes.
humankind. And the dance is an offering, right? So I started
Yeah, yeah, it
to
is. It
really
is.
yearn for that feeling every single day that I wasn't on the stage. I would just live to be on stage. It's something I think a lot of dancers can relate to. And it's what makes this
Okay.
lockdown period so hard, is
It
not
is. It
having
is
that
like
opportunity.
everywhere. It is. Okay. So
Hmm.
I'll just add on few questions and few comments, compliments from different parts of countries. So hello, ladies. Shout out to Philippines from New York. Okay. Hi, Sophia. You are adorable dancer. Please continue doing it. And everybody is loving your life. Okay. Okay. So, okay, coming back to the questions. So it's a very personal question. You can skip it if you want to. So, how close are you to spirituality when you perform, and how do you get connected spiritually
Yeah.
to Bharatnatyam when you perform?
Yeah, that's a really important question. I think I'm very spiritual, but I'm not very religious. So honestly, I don't really know what I am since I was raised Greek Orthodox, but then my mom is Catholic, and I only go to Hindu temples now because that's where I go because that's where all the dance shows are. Bhavam is what it's called. It's just this devotion and adoration for God in the dance, but you can translate that to anything that means something to you as a dancer. And to me, it just means something higher. I don't really know what it is, but I'm able to connect with it very profoundly, and it's what makes dance so special to me.
Oh,
So no matter
wonderful.
what incarnation of God, whether it's Krishna, Vishnu, Shiva, Parvati, Lakshmi that we're doing the dance about, I think it's this sort of the same thread of something higher that I
Yeah, yeah,
dance
of
for.
course, of course, of course. I really like this answer of yours. I mean, how you put it and connect it to spirituality, it's so amazing. So you are
Thank
quite
you.
spiritual. So how do you look yourself? Like, where do you look yourself 10 years from now in Bharatnatyam?
Well, I hope that I'm able to continue learning and advancing my art. And I also hope, of course, that the stages reopen and all artists are able to resume their live performing. And then finally, my ultimate goal as an artist is to be able to bring Bharatanatyam to non-Indian audiences. So Europe, the rest of Asia, and then, of course, America and the
Of
Western
course, we'll
Hemisphere.
be most, yeah, we'll be glad to have such audience from different parts of a country. And
Yeah.
you being the mentor, everyone would be so, grateful to have you as a mentor. So, like, what is your favorite part in Bharatnatyam? Or should I put it in that way that what is your favorite mudra?
um, I don't know. Maybe kapita.
Oh,
The
wow.
the fancy katakami.
All right. That's so difficult to do for for a beginner. Okay. So, okay, if you like we are collaborating, so you being the mentor, what will you focus on training, like training the audience from different parts of world?
Um, I usually, well, whenever I teach, I try to encourage a section of my workshop or lecture to be about choreography because it's something that I started many years ago. Not saying I'm a great choreographer or anything, but I think a lot of young dancers are afraid of trying to create their own pieces until they reach a very
They are
mature age.
actually.
So I try to
Mhm.
have little exercises or little games for if it's young girls to help them
Yeah.
sort of break that fear and start to choreograph for the first time and do just like a
Okay.
30-second little piece.
All right, all right. Okay, we'll come back to the questions, but we have wonderful comments here in the comment box. So somebody says that you have beautifully explained the spirituality. A lot of people who wants to pursue Bharatnatyam or other any other dance form.
Thank
All
you.
right. So
Thank you.
yeah. So do you know that your name you share your name with a girl who we saw in cartoons in animated series?
No, I didn't know.
So that animated series is Sophia the First. Let me tell you. So yeah. So why I mentioned it because I would be like everyone would be willing to know that what kind of personality are you? Like how would you describe your personality?
hmm Um, in my opinion, I think I'm very calm, usually more quiet and, observational and thinking before I make any decisions. I'm usually the one who calms down a group if my friends get angry or something like that. And I think I'm very focused on my goals. I have put my studies and dance first for my entire life, even if that means sacrificing a bit on the social end. So my friends know that I have few friends, but very close ones, but I usually will be gone from all of our gatherings because I have some sort of dance show. But
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, so what would you suggest, or what would you just share with the young dancers who have just started pursuing their dance? I mean, who has just started pursuing their career in dance?
Mhm. I think it's important to not lose sight of long-term goals in instead of focusing on the short term. So right now, obviously, the short term is not so great. It's very easy to get demotivated, but you have to stay in shape and keep learning, even if that means virtually, because long term things will open up again. And if you want to be a great dancer, you can't just sit around and let things like
Yeah.
this demotivate you because it's a whole lifelong journey. This is just one small part of it.
Oh, okay, okay. So, just quickly want to know that since we are having this live conversation and we are so fortunate to have you here on board with Edginess. So, what are your plans for the future collaborations with Edginess?
It's still in discussion, but probably you can start off with a workshop about I can either teach a small piece or sorry, there's a lot of sun in the morning, or have a choreography workshop as I was describing.
Wow, wonderful. So, people are waiting for your choreography workshops because I can see some comments here that we are waiting, and Kab are and like in Hindi, people are speaking it out. So, okay. So, just quickly, I would want to know that you keep traveling a lot for the performances. You need to focus on your dance form. Also, you have done it with your studies in chemistry. So, how do you manage your social life?
That goes back to what I was saying, where social life often takes a back seat.
It does.
I didn't have much of one in college, and now that I'm
Oh,
working, it's a little bit better, but still not great. But that's my personal choice. I think if you love something enough, you'll always make time for it. So that's what I did. I just sacrificed the time that was non-essential and put that towards my dance. So socializing, sleep time, all those things,
sleep
relaxation
time.
time.
Oh, wow, you have to sacrifice with the sleep time, relaxation time as well.
Yeah, definitely, especially on the weekend. So what I would do is work or be at school from Monday through Friday and then fly out Friday midday, get somewhere Friday night, sleep, and then wake up in the morning, study or do my work that I had left, and then perform Saturday night. Sunday, I would usually take half a day to explore whatever new area I was in and then come back Sunday night really late.
Okay.
wake up Monday
Okay, so
morning and go back.
okay, all right. So as you mentioned that you should have when you pursue your career in any dance form, be it any dance form or any artistic form. So you have to sacrifice, and you should have a plan. You should have a long-term plan. So how would you comment on the there are a few recent sayings that go with the flow. Things will happen to you for your good. So, how much do you support this saying? How much do you support this mindset?
Well, I think they can work together. You can still have a plan and believe that everything that happens to you along the way um, is your destiny, and there's nothing you can do about it, because at some point you do have to relax and not try to micromanage your whole life. I think that it's important to have something that you're working towards, but also being flexible about how you get there, or maybe your goal changes because of things that are completely out of your control. So I would support those sayings.
Okay, okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, okay, so Sophia, I we would want to know one thing about you that you would never leave.
That I would never leak.
Yeah, never leave, never leave. Like you'll never leave Bharatnatyam, or you'll never leave your studies, or just one thing.
Definitely will never leave Bharatnatyam.
Okay. Wow, because you are actually into it so much, and we can actually see that love oozing out of you, and the research you have made in this dance form is amazing. Yeah, like hats off to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so all right, so like you have mentioned that we are still under the conversations, like when to keep this workshop. So, what would you suggest? Like, what audience base would you like to pick? Like the beginners or intermediate, or what
Ideally,
what
intermediate to
things would you like
advanced.
to pick?
Yeah, intermediate to advanced. But whoever wants to come, I think there shouldn't say
Because it's
no.
more,
I guess it
it's
depends
gonna be
on.
more of the choreography, right? Right.
I mean, it depends who's interested. I can tailor whatever I do to the audience that shows interest.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So, let us take more of the compliments and comments from here from the audience, because a lot of people, a lot many complimenting you, a lot many would like to join your workshop, the coming up workshop, so which is like under discussions. Okay, so yeah, um, what would you suggest edginess for over Bharatnatyam?
I think you're doing an amazing job of collaborating with some really wonderful dancers and bringing workshops and um, things like that to your audience. So I would say just keep up the good work.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anything else you want to add about different things, like your personality or your career?
No,
Anything
I
else?
think we talked a lot about it.
We actually did, and it was amazing.
Oh, thank you
we
for
we are
having me.
actually so thankful that you came to our platform. You took out time from your busy schedule, because it was really difficult to connect with you in some days, and because the GMTs are quite different, and
Mhm.
you have -5 GMT and we have +5:30 GMT. So yeah, we actually made it.
Yes, we
Cheers to
did.
that. Cheers to that. And also, Agenus is looking forward for your mentorship and for your workshops.
Likewise.
Also, the people, the audience who are joining in are waiting for you to come over, and they want to pursue this dance form and attend your workshops.
Lovely.